Let's be honest, you've probably asked yourself this question before. Why am I still stuck? You're playing every day, upgrading your cards, watching other people's decks on YouTube, but your trophies just don't move. You win a few, lose a few, and end up right back where you started. Sound familiar? Well, today I'm going to tell you the real reason, and once you understand it, you'll never look at Clash Royale the same way again. This isn't about luck. It's not about matchups. It's not even about deck levels. It's about something 99% of players never train, the way they think. So before we start, do one thing. Subscribe right now. Because if you're serious about improving, I drop daily videos like this, breaking down the truth about how to win more, tilt less, and finally feel in control of your matches. So hit that button and let's get into it. Alright, the first thing you need to know is this. Backhand index pointing, right? You don't get better by playing more, you get better by playing smarter. Most players think more games equals more experience, but that's wrong. If you're repeating the same mistakes 100 times, you're not improving, you're reinforcing bad habits. Let me give you an example. You push with a deck you love, maybe Hog, maybe Lavaloon, maybe a Splash deck. You win a few games. You start feeling confident, but then you hit a wall, counters everywhere. Suddenly, you're losing to every matchup you used to beat. You get frustrated, you switch decks, and guess what? You start the cycle all over again. Here's the harsh truth. It's not your deck, it's your mindset. You're reacting to losses emotionally instead of strategically. And that's what separates good players from great ones. Good players play to win. Great players play to learn. If you want to climb consistently, you have to stop chasing wins and start chasing understanding. Now, let's talk about something nobody explains properly: deck mastery. You've probably heard people say, stick to one deck. But here's what they don't tell you. It's not about memorizing card placements. It's about learning why each card exists in that deck. Take a simple example, Hog 2.6. Everyone knows it's fast cycle, but the real skill isn't cycling, it's pressure control. Knowing when to go in and when to hold back. When to spend 4 elixir for a counter push, and when to just defend and reset your rhythm. Every deck has a rhythm, like a song. If you rush it, you break the beat. If you slow it down too much, you lose momentum. And that's where most players fail. They don't respect tempo. So here's a tip from pros most people overlook. When you lose, go back and re-watch the first 60 seconds of your replay. Forget who won. Just study the tempo. Were you reacting too fast? Overcommitting too early? Ignoring small damage for big swings? Fixing that alone will make you climb hundreds of trophies faster than upgrading your cards ever will. But let's get into something deeper: upgrades. Everyone asks, which card should I upgrade first? And the answer is simple: upgrade your core cards. Don't chase what's trendy, build around your comfort. You don't need to max everything. You need to max what defines your playstyle. Are you good at defense? Focus on your cycle cards. Like offense? Focus on your win condition and support combo. You'll progress faster because you'll always be playing with confidence, and confidence beats levels every single time. I see too many players wasting gold trying to copy top ladder decks they can't even use properly. Don't do that. Build your identity. Your deck should feel like an extension of your hands, something you can play with your eyes closed. And by the way, if this is helping already, hit the like button. It tells me to keep dropping these deeper strategy guides instead of just quick shorts. Now, let's talk about game flow and decision control. Most players lose not because they misplayed, but because they panicked. They lose control of the flow. Every match has 3 stages: the setup, the momentum, and the breakpoint. The setup is the first minute. This is your information gathering phase. You're testing their counters, learning their rhythm. The momentum is mid-game. You're building pressure and taking small advantages. The breakpoint is double elixir. This is where matches are decided. If you enter double elixir with more control, you win. Period. So, stop wasting elixir early on random pushes. Use that time to understand who you're fighting. Once you know their deck, play like a chess player. Every move should have purpose. And don't panic when they push big. Here's the secret. Every strong push has a weak side. When they drop 8, elixir in one lane, punish the other. Don't defend everything. Take damage if it means controlling tempo, because Clash Royale isn't about perfect defense, it's about efficient defense. Now let's switch gears for a second. I want to talk about mindset. You can have all the skills in the world, but if your mindset's off, you'll lose to players you should easily beat. You've probably had those moments. You lose 2 or 3 games, and suddenly you start second-guessing everything. You stop trusting your instincts. You start playing slower, safer, but also weaker. That's tilt. Tilt doesn't just make you play worse, it makes you forget why you're playing. So here's a rule I live by. When I lose 3 games in a row, I stop. Not because I'm mad, but because I respect my own mental state. Sometimes, the best move in Clash Royale is to not play. Use that time to reflect, to breathe, to learn. Because improving isn't just about grinding, it's about managing your energy. And if you're still watching, that means you actually care about getting better. So do me a favor, subscribe right now. Not because I'm asking, but because you owe it to yourself to surround yourself with people who help you grow. This channel isn't about bragging or fake hype. It's about real improvement. If you want to climb, this is your place. Let's finish strong with a few advanced pro tips that'll help you dominate long term. Track rotations mentally. You don't need to count every card, just remember the key counters. If their tornado or rocket is out of cycle, that's your green light to go all in. Force predictable plays. Drop a card that makes your opponent panic, like a miner on a support troop or a knight in the middle, then predict their response. That's how you outplay people without even reacting. Never start your push without a plan for defense. Ask yourself, if they counter push, what's my response? If you don't have an answer, don't push. Simple as that. Learn to delay. Sometimes the best defense isn't instant, it's half a second late. Waiting lets you build more elixir and react smarter. Reward yourself for good decisions, not just wins. Every time you defend well or predict perfectly, take note. Those are the moments that define your growth. And here's the final truth. Improvement is not a straight line. You'll win some, lose some, maybe even drop trophies. But every game you play with awareness is progress. The players who really make it, they're not just lucky. They're consistent. They treat Clash Royale like a mental gym. Every match trains their patience, awareness, and emotional control. So if you're ready to train your mind, subscribe, join the community. Because here, we're not just climbing trophies, we're building mastery. And remember this, the next time you face someone with max cards and toxic emotes, don't rage, smile, because you're learning something they'll never understand. You're not just playing Clash Royale anymore, you're mastering it.